Hey everyone, I'm gonna give us a few minutes to get people on. Before we get started, I'm gonna let people sign in. Feel free to dance along with me. Oh, it's Saturday! Welcome Cindy, welcome Joanna, welcome Tammy. We're gonna have fun today. Show me your beautiful faces, guys, come on. I see we have M signing in here. Welcome, M. We're just going to give it a couple minutes for people to sign in. Feel free to dance with me. Cindy, this is Lizzo. It's Juice. Yeah. We need some girl positive music for today. That's why I picked it. Cindy says she's not up to date with modern music. I barely am. Hi, Lindsay. Good morning. We're having a dance party while we wait for people to sign on. There you go, Joanna. Good morning. Joanna, I know you love to dance. You're always posting dancing stuff on your stories.
True story.
I'm going to wait till we get to 5 minutes and then we'll get started. Okay. If people log in, they log in after this. I'm going to get started. Okay, now that the dance party's over, we're going to get started here, and I am so excited. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you, so I may not see the chat right away. So if you have questions while I'm talking, put them in the chat, and I will get to them at the end. And if I answer them along the way, I answer them. But I'm so excited to share this with you guys. I put leopard print on my PowerPoint, so I am so excited about that. All right, let me share my desktop here. Yep, here we go. All right, Canva, let's get this started. I'm so excited. Get rid of this. If my computer will load, we'll get started. All right. All right, let's try that again one more time. here we go. It is the Aligned Abundance Masterclass, and today we are focusing on sales, presented by me, Jessie De Silva. And here we go. So before we jump into it, I want to give you a little bit of an outline for today. These are the topics we're going to be covering. So I'm talking about tapping into your warm market. And the reason I start with this is that a lot of people who are new to sales, it feels really intimidating. So I like to start us off with something that feels a little bit comfortable, and we'll get into that in a minute. We're also going to follow some social media basics. We're going to go over Pinterest for those of you, especially for those of you who have blogs or products. And then we're going to go over Instagram and Facebook. But these, keep in mind, we only have an hour, so this is going to be like, covering the basics of things you need to know. Finally, we're going to talk about how to book more calls, like especially if you're a coach, and how to run a sales call. So for those of you who are like various coaches or have service-based businesses, we're going to talk about that. I'm so excited for all of this. It's going to be so juicy and good. And keep in mind, like, you're going to want to have a pen and paper. A lot of the stuff I'm talking about is going to come from me talking, not from what's written. So definitely make sure that you have a pen and paper, although I will be sending out a replay, so don't stress too much. Okay. So a little bit about me. I am Jessie De Silva. I call myself the psychic business coach. So I'm a former lawyer and journalist. I like to say that I tried every side of law practice before I gave it up. I also am an intuitive, and for those of you who aren't familiar, that means I'm a psychic. So what does that mean? I have claircognizance, which means intuitive knowing. I just know things without any reason to know them. It's just how my brain works. And I also have clairsentience, and a lot of people know that as being an empath. So I feel the feelings of others, whether that's emotions, physical, that kind of thing. And I use that in my business. I use tarot cards and I do direct channeling. So I do offer readings, but it's a part of my practice, and that's what I do. I'm also a podcaster. I'm the co-host of Millennial Mystics, which is a super witchy and fun podcast. So if you've ever wanted to explore themes like astrology or the Akashic Records, or like, you want to talk about like the history around the witch trials, or how witches show up in culture, like books, movie, TV, that is going to be your best source for that. I'm also a writer. As you can tell, I'm a former journalist, an artiste. So I like to do charcoal and watercolor art pieces, and I'm a cat mom. You may hear my cat cry at the door today because she hates it when I don't put her on camera. And my story on why I created this whole big program that I'm doing now is I have been in my business for 9 months now, and I had very inconsistent and scattered success with my sales for about 8 months. And then along that time, I had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations. I got to a point where I realized what I'm doing isn't working, and I looked at every facet of my business. I had to revamp every single thing. That included my client list. It included the programs I was offering, my rates, how I showed up in social media, my sales strategy. And once I clicked all of those areas into alignment, by which I mean it was more authentic to who I am, I actually made $30,000 in sales in 3 weeks. I sold out my one-on-one coaching packages. And now here I am teaching everybody that. And I realized that I had to do that because I have been put on this earth to teach people to get through their money blocks and all their self-limiting beliefs on why they can't make money, or why success isn't for them, or why they're the exception to success, which you're not, spoiler alert. So I had to go through all of that so I could teach it. And we're going to cover some of that today, some of that programming. So the first thing I want you to think about is the thing that happens with sales a lot of times is people don't feel confident. And I say this to my clients and to potentials all the time. I say confidence isn't buried treasure that you find. It is a muscle that you build. So if you don't feel like you have confidence right now, this isn't a matter of digging deep and finding it within you. This is all about how to build momentum with your confidence. Okay, So let's get started. We're talking about your warm market. So what is a warm market? Your warm market, it's people who already know you. So this can be family and friends, but I'm going to cast the net a little bit wider, and I'm going to say it's like people on the internet who interact with you pretty regularly. So if you have any kind of like people who stalk your stories, or they like a lot of your posts, or you engage with them in groups, maybe you're just internet friends, all of these people are your warm market. And I like to start everybody here because these people already know, like, and trust you. So you have a greater chance of feeling a little bit more confident and a little more settled when you do talk to them about what you're offering. And they naturally, generally want to help you. So this is basically like the way to get some easy wins in the beginning. Now, the way you want to approach your warm market is when you're thinking about like what your services or your offerings are, sit down and like let your intuition guide you, because when you get quiet, a lot of times what happens is that your brain will start to figure out solutions for you. Our brains love challenges and problems because it gives them something to do. So if you sit down and you're like, who could maybe be interested in this? Your intuition, that sixth sense, is going to kick in, and it'll start giving you names of people. So just make a list of them, and you're going to hit these people up. Now, how do you do that exactly? So the thing I say is that if these are people that you talk to all the time or you talk to pretty regularly, you don't need to like refresh that contact. Go ahead and message them and just be like, you know what? I don't know if you're interested, but you came to mind when I was thinking about my program. I'd love to talk to you more about it, or a product. Like, you came to mind with my product. I'd really love to like talk to you if you're interested. And you can like, you want to make it personal. So you came to mind because of your positive energy and your openness, something like that. You want it to be like kind of a positive compliment, like you seem like a go-getter and like the kind of person I would love to work with. So I'd love to talk to you about it. No strings attached. You are not beholden to say yes. Like, I just wanted to talk to you about what I'm offering. And the next thing you can do is, if it's somebody where, okay, they're in your warm market, they know, like, and trust you, but maybe you don't have like a strong relationship with them already, what you do is, your best message opener is, hey, how are you? Just rebuild the relationship there. And when they ask how you're doing and what you're working on and like things like that, you're naturally going to like kind of shift the conversation into that, and you can just like follow that same format of, I'm not sure if this interests you, but you did come to mind with this. There's absolutely no pressure, but if you're open to it, I'd love to like, talk with you on a call or something like that. And I say that you always want to get people on a video call if you can, because it allows you to like, unless you're in person or something, but get people on a video call because it lets them get into your energy, and you get to read their body language and how they're responding to things. I'm not saying you can't close in social media DMs. You absolutely can. But the difference is that like, it's when people get into your energy, they want to stay there. So you have a bit of like home field advantage. So now we're going to get into the basics of social media. So we're going to cover today, we're going to touch on Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. Now, the thing to keep in mind with these is that you can't treat them all the same. And especially there's a temptation with Instagram and Facebook. Oh, I'll upload something to Instagram and I'll have it auto post to my Facebook page. Except Facebook's algorithm kind of punishes you when you automatically post it there, which they don't tell you, of course. But the best thing you can do is post to Instagram and like literally just copy and paste it to Facebook, and that way you get that little bump in the algorithm that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten if it was an auto post. But anyway, yeah, you can't treat them all the same or you're going to get shit results across the board. We're going to start with Pinterest. So Pinterest is like the best place for products, blogs, and growing your Instagram. So you can actually pin your Instagram posts like to Pinterest and like build up your audience there. But there are a few tips that you want to make sure that you follow with your Pinterest. The first thing is like, make sure that all your boards are clean and active. And what I mean by that is that you want to make sure all the links to all of your pins are still working. And it's one of those time-consuming things that takes a while, but it really pays off as far as results go. your pins will get higher and will get promoted because all your boards are active. You want to make sure that you have about like, I'd say like 10 to 20 boards. You don't want more than that because then it gets like, people will get bogged down. But the way to think about Pinterest is like, this is if your life had a magazine. So obviously you want it to be, you want some stuff that's related to your brand, some stuff that's related to what you do and what you're selling. But it's also about like what makes you uniquely you. So for example, like, you know, I'm a psychic life and business coach. And so like, yes, I have my own blog posts, I have my own programs and stuff, but I also have a board that's all about like cooking. Like I have 2 cooking boards because I love to cook and I have a lot there. And sometimes I share my recipes, so I put them on there. But for the most part, like I love trying new recipes. I love trying new methods of cooking. So that's part of my magazine because it's a significant part of my life. This also helps people get to know you. It builds that know, like, and trust factor, which we all hear about all the time. All that means is that people kind of get a glimpse into who you are as a person. And then if they like that, if they like who you are, they get a sense that like, oh, I feel like I know her, even though I've never met her. That feeling of liking you and feeling like you're a friend online, even though they've never talked to you, that is what creates that trust with them. So clean up your boards, make sure all your links are active. It is one of those like insanely time-consuming things, but you're going to want to go ahead and do that anyway. The second tip, and this is the most important one, is that you want to make sure that all of your posts, anything that's relevant to your business, your blog, your Instagram, all of those pins need to be at the top of all your boards. You want to also make sure like your boards are adequately filled out. So you want to have at least like 20, like 21. You want like over 20 because that gives it like that kind of, it looks like you're active basically. So go through your boards, make sure that everything's working, and then make sure you have at least 21 pins. Make sure they reflect that magazine of your life, and then put your shit at the top. So that way when people are following your boards, the first thing they're going to see is stuff that comes from you. Finally, not finally, we've got 2 more left, but you want to write captions for every single one. So you know when you're on Pinterest and you see something cute and you just want to reshare it, you want to pin it to a board for later, the temptation is to just like leave the caption as it is from whatever board or user you found it from. Absolutely not. You want to put your spin on it and you want to foster engagement there. So write a caption of what you like about every single pin, because that also allows people to kind of get to know you, get a glimpse into who you are, and you want to foster engagement. So if you can get comments, or you have something that's asking like, what do you think, or have you tried this before, or do you have any tips for this? That encourages people to engage with your page, and that engagement will also drive up your algorithm results. Finally, like on your bio, you want to make sure that your bio reflects your name, where you are, and who you are. So like the most basics of like, here's what I do. You also want to switch to, even if you use Pinterest personally, switch to a business account. It's free. You don't have to link to anything. And all it does is it gives you insight into your analytics. And the best part about that is you can go see what's the most popular, what's resonating with your audience the most. And that helps you like kind of figure out, okay, this is what I want to be doing more of. The other thing is that Pinterest every year puts out a guide that says what their most popular categories are. And we don't even realize this. So if you can go, like literally just Google like Pinterest statistics 2020 or 2019, I think it's like the year before, you can see what the most trending and the fastest growing topic areas are on Pinterest as a whole. Also, just some things to keep in mind, because we forget about Pinterest a lot, but 48% of Pinterest users are primarily using it for shopping. Everyone tends to think about Pinterest like it's another social media platform, when in actuality, you need to be looking at it as a search engine. People will go there instead of going to Google to search for things that they want to buy. So when they're looking for at-home workouts, when they're looking for yarn, when they're looking for
craft ideas, patterns, jewelry, fashion, all of those things, people go to Pinterest first. Also, Pinterest is like that goes hand in hand with that, but like Pinterest also has mostly households that are like high income households are using Pinterest for that purpose. And high income is defined by like Pinterest as a combined home income of $75,000 or more. So these are people who have money to spend on that shopping. So you like really think about how you are showing up and what you're sharing there. Okay, we're going to move on to Instagram. So we've got some basics. This is like really going to be quick hit on Instagram. The first thing is that you want to have some uniformity when it comes to Instagram. So if you can pick a color scheme, and if you can pick a color scheme, you can then kind of zero in on like 1 to 3 filters that will create the same effect on all your photos. Like if you look at mine is a lot of like warm pinks and warm blues. And that's, you know, has to do with color psychology. I want like that, I don't want it to be like cool and relaxing because I'm not necessarily a cool and relaxing person. I'm kind of intense. I start my webinars off as like dance parties, and you know, I'm like pretty out there, of an outgoing personality, so I want to convey that in the photos. You also need to think when you're posting photos, it's not just about the individual photo, it's about the feed itself. So you can use an app like Preview, which allows you to map out exactly what your feed is going to look like. And that like kind of gives you the visual of like, here's how I can line things up so it looks professional. And there's a saying among Instagram folks that a good picture gets a like, a good feed gets a follow. So you want to always be thinking about both. Now, when you're posting individual photos or videos, you want to think about the caption as well. Like you always want to have some kind of call to action or some kind of thing that fosters engagement. So that's going to look like exactly what I was talking about with Pinterest. Like, what do you think? Have you tried this before? Like, do you have any tips? You know, something like a post I recently had was, what does success look like to you? How do you define success? So always including something that creates engagement in the comments, that's going to be your best bet. Another thing is that you don't want to put your hashtags in your post because Instagram actually like lowers you in the algorithm for having like a block of hashtags in your posts. The best thing you can do is put that in a comment. So the way to do it, and you can do it so it hides so people don't see this like huge block of hashtags. You want to do period, new line, period, new line, period, new line, period, new line, period, new line. That's 5 periods, and then start your hashtags there. Now, like that, what that does is just allow people to find you based on searches. Also, emojis are searchable on Instagram. So if you can work emojis into your post or even into your bio, that's going to help. Like if you look at mine, oh, and you know what? I will add a little thing about IG bios. You want to follow the same rule of thumb as I said for Pinterest, who you are, where you are, what you do. And you also want to offer something free, because like that allows people to kind of start engaging with you and check things out. So you can have like a free guide, or you can have like, you know, a free video. You could even have like, oh, join me in my free Facebook community, something like that, that allows them to kind of get into your energy a little bit more. The other thing is that with your username versus your title, you want it to be 2 different things, because we want to game the searchability and the algorithm on Instagram. So for example, if you go to my page, my username is J De Silva, because that's what's all over, like that's what my Twitter is, like I've been on everything for a long time. But my name, like the headline of my name is the psychic money coach. And that's because if somebody types like money coach, money blocks, business coach, they'll find me because my username doesn't have that in there. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind. So finally, once you post something, you want to engage after that post. So, you know, start going to a few other people's profiles that you think may be interested in what you just posted about and just write comments, get in the comments of other pages, that kind of thing. Start engaging, and you don't need to do it more than like 15 to 20 minutes, but just like get the engagement going, because what drives the algorithm behind Instagram is comments. It's not likes. A few more like less known Instagram tips. It might be a video, it might seem like it's a photo platform, but video is what Instagram promotes more than anything else. So if you can post videos, like they're into that. That's always going to get you like a bump up in the algorithm because they're interactive. Also, going live on Instagram is super powerful because what it does is you get some free advertising. When you go live, you get that drop down menu, like other people will get a drop down that says Jay DaSilva is live. And so people who are interested in what it is you do, they can click and they can get into your energy. Going live is different than a pre-recorded video. A pre-recorded video, it's all well and good, but the issue is that people want to see what your energy is like when you're not like reading off of a script. You're just kind of going by like being who you are in the moment. That conveys more about you than a pre-recorded video. That builds not that know factor, it's that like factor, the know and the like. They're like, oh, I really like how she shows up and what she talks about. I like her quirks, whatever. And you can see this when I go live. Like I've gone live from bathrobe, I've gone live in a towel, I've gone live after workout with my hair all crazy. People like real people. They don't want to see just a bunch of like Instagram booty models. Like they want to see real people, especially like you may even be selling a product, but there are so many products on the market. What makes you different than the others? It's you. People want to support you as an individual. So give them a glimpse into your life. Finally, like you can use like that, and that's actually exactly what I'm saying. Use those stories to invite people into your world. So go live, like when you go live, you want to aim for like 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't need to be much longer than that. And you can like talk about a topic or show, like you can even talk about a product that you're doing or your creation process, anything like that. You can also just use stories to get people engaged in your life outside of it. So like, you know, showing your pets going crazy, or like the chaos in your household if you have kids, maybe if you do meal prep, whatever, things like that. As long as it's okay with everyone in the home, you know, show people like what your life is like. Give them that like glimpse behind the scenes that builds that know, like, and trust factor. Finally, the other thing you can do is interact with followers of similar accounts. So say you have a skincare line or something, and so this is like you are the creator of this skincare line. Go into like more expensive brands and start interacting with people there, because people will click back to your page and like see what you're all about and be like, oh, that's interesting. She actually makes a product that I really want. It's the same thing with like coaching or service-based businesses. You go like I can go to Marie Forleo's page and get in the comments on one of her posts and start interacting with people, because Marie Forleo isn't working with as many people. So anybody who likes her brand is probably going to like mine as well. Finally, Facebook is all about getting in the groups. Like we can't just treat Facebook like Instagram with pictures and stuff like that. You really need to like get into the groups where your ideal clients are. So when you tap into who are my clients, who do I want to work with, and what are they interested in, you can then go into groups related to those topics and start engaging there. And when you do, I'm not talking about like full on inviting people to anything or pitching yourself. It's literally just showing up to serve, showing up to be like an active voice in that group, and, you know, just be a presence there. And people will, like, after a while, people will start seeing you as an expert in whatever it is that you're talking about, and they'll know you. You'll start getting followers, or people will like start conversations with you. They'll start tagging you in posts where they know you can help. Show up to serve, and you will be surprised at how much response you get from that. Another thing that works on Facebook, in Facebook groups, are drop letter posts. So a lot of you may have arrived at this webinar from a drop letter post I did recently, where I talked about my experience so far, and how, like, the story I told you about, like the 8 months of like largely crickets and then making 30K in 3 weeks. And I had said, like, I will give you business advice, like, based on where you are in your business. Drop an emoji below. And I was like, if you're under 1,000, it's this. If you're under 3,000, it's this. If you're under 5,000, it's this emoji. That works. You can also just do something straightforward, like this weekend I'm doing a webinar, like this weekend I'm doing a free webinar on sales strategy, drop an emoji if you're interested. Something like that, it's going to get someone's attention and allow them to like engage with very little like weird shadowy like limiting belief kind of thing, or embarrassment where they don't have to write a comment, they just drop an emoji. People are faster to drop an emoji than they are to write a full-blown comment. So that's what a drop letter post is. It's those posts that like you see emoji, 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 emoji. You can do this on Instagram as well, but it's going to be best in Facebook groups where your ideal clients are, because what you then get to do is you can reach out to every single person individually. So say like you're giving advice on a post like I was giving the public advice, but then I was individually messaging people and saying like, I'd really like to invite you to my webinar this Saturday. Like, please let me know, like send me, if you're interested, send me your email. So that's what a drop letter post is. All right, now we're moving on to how to book more calls. And this is all about strategy and promotion. And sheet of print, because I love it. Okay, the first thing you can do like to like sell more and book more calls is you want to have like 3 levels of offers, and this allows you to like make money from different groups of people, because a lot of times like no doesn't mean no, it means not yet. So like a few things, like I have a few examples here of what that looks like. So based on service or based on products. So for example, for my coaching, I have readings and I have one-on-one sessions that are my low ticket offers. My middle ticket offer is a group program. And then finally, my high ticket offer is, you know, a one-on-one coaching package for 3 months or 6 months. Like it's all based on how much access you get to me. Like if you were using a product, that can go based off size. It can go based off bundle as well. So for example, like if you go to like Biossance or a big skincare company like that, you can buy like travel size products for a pretty affordable price. Then you can buy a full size product, but the most expensive thing is going to be a gift set where you have multiple like different size, maybe full size, combination of full and travel size. It'll come in like a bag or something. That would be an example of high ticket. So you can see how each one of those things offers a different price point. And when you think about it, like, for example, so I have like if I have a low ticket option of a reading that's $100, or like, okay, let's make it easier. If you've got $50 for an offer, and you sold 10 of those, like you sold 10 of your $50 options, so a lower ticket thing, that is $5,000 right there. That's like easy money. If you have a middle ticket thing, so like, for example, I have a group program, which you're going to hear about at the end of this, and I have it for less than $1,000, and I sell like, if it's around, say you have a program that's around $500 and you sell like, we'll say like 10 of those again, that is $50,000 right there. Like you don't have to sell much. It's about creating different options for people to buy, and so you can see some more success. This also works for those of you who are in MLMs. Like there are usually different kinds of combinations that people can buy. So they can buy like a package, like a starter package, or they can buy like an individual product. Broaden your mind. You don't always have to go for the high ticket thing. Sometimes if you sell just enough of the low ticket stuff, you get the income either way. So, and the other thing that you get to do with this is that you can upsell people into the different products, which I believe is happening on the next slide. Let's see. Yes, maximizing these 3 offers, the first thing is that you want to upsell them. So say you sell them like a one-on-one thing, like, you know, okay, we have a one-on-one reading. At the end of that, what you're going to do is say like, I'm not sure if you're interested, but based on what we've been talking about, like, I think you'd be a great candidate for my group program, yada, yada, yada. You pitch them, you have a sales conversation on that. The same thing goes for like, if you sell somebody a product. You know, if they get a travel size and they love it, they're more likely to go buy the full size version of it. The same goes for like the MLM, and I'll talk about Beachbody since I use all of those products. If I love the like the pre-workout, I'm like, oh, I feel so good with it and it's all natural and it really helps. You know, I'm more likely to then like, you know, try other products. Or say if I start out with workouts and I'm like, damn, these workouts are really good and I'm really enjoying them, I'm more likely to then be like, I wonder how the actual, like, you know, nutrition products are. Let me try those out. So don't ever worry that like people aren't all flocking to your medium or your high ticket offers. If you sell the shit out of your low ticket offer, you can always upsell people into the big ones. And that's what people talk about when they say funnels. It's funneling them up into the next offer. Finally, you want to give them FOMO as well. So what FOMO, for those of you who may not know, is fear of missing out. And that's just another way of saying, like, you want to create urgency. If you have your stuff out there and you're just like, yeah, I'm taking on clients, like, hit me up when you're ready, whatever, people are just they're going to wait until they're ready, wait until they have the money, wait until whatever, and they may never get there. So what you need to do is you need to create that urgency. So it needs to be like, maybe there's a sale that you're having, or maybe you're running out of seats. Like, hey, I'm doing a group program. I'm not taking more than 20 people, and like 5 people have already taken their spots, yada, yada. Or even like, I'm increasing my rates at the end of the month. You do want to follow through with that because you should be increasing your rates, I'll tell you that. But you want to create that urgency and like make people feel like they're going to be left out and that they need to act now. So that's how you create urgency. And that is like key to anything that you do. All right, so some other best practices in order like to book out your sales calls or book out your, to book out like sales calls and get more people into your aura. Make sure every post you have has a call to action. A call to action is book a call with me, like book a reading with me, join my Facebook community, like, you know, like this photo, share this photo, things like that, tag a friend. All of that stuff is a call to action. But you, like, ideally what you want to do is a call to action into your business. Get them to interact, get them to buy, that kind of thing. The other thing is linking to your business stuff, because a lot of times if we don't have links, people don't know how to buy from us. So on Facebook, when you post about things, and this is where we get into the difference between just posting for Instagram versus Facebook. On Facebook, go into the caption and put a link to what it is you're selling. And then also put that link into the comments as well, because sometimes people won't read the whole caption, but they want to act, so they'll go into the and if it's first in the comments, they'll be like, oh, easy peasy. So make sure you have links on all of your posts. Finally, and this is something that we forget all the time, is screening your leads. This is going to look like you're going to have a form, or you're going to ask them questions in messages or something to ask them, like, for example, what are you struggling with? What made you reach out to me? You're also going to, and we'll get into those questions, like, you know, in the next slide when we talk about sales calls, but ask them questions like that in a form. But what you can also do is like put in a question where you just put the price out there. You say, packages start at this, or one-on-one sessions start at this. Can you afford that? Yes or no? And you want to also keep in mind that, and that's under maintain relationships, no doesn't always mean no. It usually means not yet or not right now. Sometimes people are saying, I'm not sure because I need to see if this is worth it or not, if I'm willing to spend my money. So you want to like maintain relationships. If somebody does say no after a call or after you engage, think of it as not yet. I'm not ready yet. And what you can do instead is, like, if you still have a call with somebody and they check no under a form, like, no, I can't afford that, I would say do the call anyway and just accept that you may have to talk a little bit more about the value and what you're able to provide. Because a lot of times when they say no in that form, what they mean is, I want to see what I'll get for that money. Some resources that are going to make your life a lot easier, and this is probably going to be best for coaches, but the lead tracker is good for anybody in an MLM as well. So you can use scheduling software. Acuity is what I use. I think it's so easy to create anything, and you can put that form to book, like a discovery call. People can fill out that information in the form. So you can also do that on Calendly, and they both have free trials. And then Google Calendar just debuted, like, I think a scheduling option, and that is totally free. You also want to track your leads all the time. So if somebody says no, you want a way to, like, make sure that you can go back and check in with them and that you're maintaining that relationship, because it's frankly naive to think that you're going to remember everybody you talk to, like, 6 months later. So if you can do it in a place where you can revisit it and give yourself reminders on people that you want to reach out to, Trello is a great option. It's very visual, so you make cards and you can put them into categories and you can see them and make notes and all of that. You can go old school with Excel or Google spreadsheets if you're just somebody who wants the basics. And then I believe there's a paid service for network marketing, but I forget what it's called. I used to use it. I'm sure somebody knows and can put it in the comments in the chat here. And finally, you also want a payment platform if that's not provided to you, if you don't have that through a website or an MLM. The best things you can do, we've got Square, PayPal, Stripe. Those are all services that you don't have to pay for. They're just going to take a small percentage of each transaction. Moonclerk has a free trial. You do pay for the number of transactions, but the best thing about Moonclerk is that it'll remember someone's card and it'll auto charge them, so you don't have to chase people down for invoices and payments. Okay, so sales calls, there's a formula for all of them, and there's 8 points. These are the first 4. The first is that when you get on the call, you need to set the agenda. So, hey, so-and-so, I'm so excited to talk to you today. If you don't mind, we're going to get to know you. I'm going to ask you some questions so we can get to know each other, and then I'll see if you're a good fit for the program. How does that sound? That's what that sounds like for setting the agenda. The next thing is finding their pain points. So you want to ask them, what made you reach out to me, or what are you struggling with, that I could potentially help you with. The next thing you want to do is figure out what they want and what they need, and there are 2 different ways to phrase this. So what they want is you say, what have you tried in the past and why hasn't that worked? So that's a good way of them being like, well, I did this and I didn't like it, and this is what I'm looking for. Now, there's a difference between that question and then asking them, what would make all the difference for you in this program or working with me? Do you need accountability? Do you need information? Do you need structure? What would make all the difference here? That is how you determine the difference between want and need. Finally, the last few things you want to do on your sales call, again, create that FOMO again. Create the urgency to buy. I'm only taking a few people. I've sold out X number of spots. I'm raising my rates at the end of the month, yada, yada. You also want to discuss what the offer contains. This is not a coaching call. This is not your chance to be like, here's your problem, here's your solution. This is the point where you say, well, based on what you're saying to me, I would recommend this or that, we would do this kind of thing together, we would explore this, or the weekly calls would be a benefit to you, or whatever. You're going to explain what's included for their money. And then finally, you want to give them that formal invitation to make them feel special. Well, I really think that you have such a great disposition. I would love to have you in my program. I think you're an amazing fit, and get the yes or no on the call. You don't want to let people go off into the ether, because when they do that, they will not get back to you. If they're really resisting, you're like, well, can I get a yes or no? Or what's holding you back? And they're like, I really just need to think about it. Get another call on the books while you're on the call. Say perfect. I understand that you want to make sure this is a good fit. Do you want to get a call for Thursday? We can jump on the phone again. We can jump on a video call again, and that way you can ask me questions. Get them to book another call with you, because then you have another container for them to give you that yes or no. And keep in mind, again, no is not a bad thing. It mostly means not yet. Now, before I get into the Q&A, I'm going to talk about my group program. You just got a taste of it, but there's going to be so much more included. It's a 6-week program. I have made it my most accessible program yet as far as financials, because I wanted to make it available to everybody. I had a lot of people reaching out to me wanting to work with me, and they just couldn't pay for one-on-one coaching, so I decided to create this. It is 6 weeks, so it's going to go, there are going to be 6 calls between June 9th and July 24th. We're going to cover mindset and intuition in the first call. So that's when we look at like your money beliefs, like where are you self-sabotaging, where are you procrastinating, why do you feel stuck, like where in your life are you holding on to energy that's keeping you from reaching that next level of success. The next thing we look at are clients, like are you attracting the right clients and customers? Do they light you up? Do you love working with them? And we also look at, if you aren't connecting with the right clients, how can you change your approach to your marketing and sales strategy in order to call in those perfect ideal clients that you love working with? An example for me with this was that I had a lot of clients in the beginning who were scattered, who weren't really consistent. I had to like chase them down to book calls, chase them down to like pay me. And then when we were on the calls, I felt like they didn't see my genius. They argued a lot with my advice. And I realized that it was because the way I showed up inconsistently. I felt scattered. And I also was embodying a lot of this like, fuck you rebel energy. So I was attracting people who had that same energy. So we talk about how to identify whether your current clients are in alignment and then how to call in the right ones. We're going to do a call each on programs and pay. So that's going to be 2 separate calls. We'll look at the programs. Are they effective? Are they what you want to teach? Are they what the clients want? Are they attracting people? Are people excited to pay for them? And then if not, how to create a program that's irresistible for people. We're also going to look at your pay. Are you charging what you're worth? Do you need to raise your rates? You do. Most likely you do. And then finally, how to price things out. So that you can convey the value and you feel good about selling it and your clients feel good about paying it. Finally, we're going to do socials and sales. So just like you got a quick hit in this hour, social media will be its own class and sales will be its own class. So we'll get to do a much deeper dive on all of these topics. And that's when I show you how to look at your own social media and how to adapt it and like write from an authentic place and show up as who you are. And then finally, learning how to sell with confidence, really building that muscle. Now, these are the calls that are scheduled for it, but it will go in the order according to the needs of the group. So what do you actually get in everything? You're getting 6 mastermind calls covering everything that's mindset, intuition, strategy, confidence. That's going to be in every single one. You're also going to get access to a private Facebook group with me at the helm. That way you can connect with like-minded entrepreneurs, people who are compassionate and positive and all working through the same difficulties right now. That way you can ask questions, celebrate your wins, and receive support from me and your fellow entrepreneurs as well. You're also, as a bonus, you're going to get a meditation that you can revisit during the class and beyond that helps you get in touch with that $1 million version of yourself, the one who doesn't have all of these like hang-ups, who's totally in her confidence, who knows what she needs to do, and like getting the advice from her. So letting her show up in a way that she can tell you how to approach the issues in your business right now. And then you're also going to get what I call your like blocks inventory, basically. So it's allowing you to dive in and look at where else in your life is scarcity showing up. Because if it shows up in your business, it tends to show up in other areas as well, whether that's self-love, whether that's in your relationships, whether that's like in your closet, like how you like your stuff, all of these other areas, and then you'll have like a huge resource list to explore all of those topics and receive support and grow in there. So if you were to buy all of these things a la carte, the price would be $2,230. But I've priced this program out to be $777 because I wanted to make it super affordable. If you need a payment plan, I'm providing weekly payment plans, so that's $133 per week for 6 weeks. And because you showed up to this call live, I'm offering you a special deal, and that is you're going to get it for $555. And this is just for the people showing up here. But the catch is that you have to sign up for it by the end of this call or book a discovery call with me. And I will provide the links to you in just a moment. If you need a payment plan, you can pay that $99 today, and your payments will kick in that first week of the class. So all you would have to do today is pay $99, and you'll lock in the rate of $599 for the payment plan. So with that being said, we're going to move into questions. So I'm going to head back to the chat so we can do that. And if you want to keep in touch with me, here's my info, jessicadasilva.com, Facebook /Coach Jessie DeSilva, Instagram /J DeSilva. So on that note, I'm going to head back to this chat and see what questions we have. Let me stop sharing my screen if I can figure that out. Good God, how do I do it? Oh, here we go. Stop share. All right, here I am. I'm back, guys. I'm so excited. So I will, okay, I'm going to answer some questions, and let me send you the link to the Aligned Abundance Academy so you can check out the details. Like that, oh, it looks like my connection's unstable. Let's give it a second. Okay. Alrighty, I'm back. So the reason I don't use Google Wallet or Venmo is because there are no protections for buyers or sellers. So if there's an issue that comes up, you have no recourse. So, and the same thing with your buyers as well. So yeah, don't use Venmo or Google Wallet. You want to use something that has and honestly, that's what the fee is for. It's essentially giving you protection. All right, who else has questions? I know I can't be the only one. Oh wait, did I send something? I think I sent the link private. Here we go. Will you have several program starts, i.e. one offer another program starting later? Mayu Lavander, or I don't know how to say that. Yeah, Mayu Lavander. Do you mean me personally, or are you asking generally for people who are doing this? Yeah, you can ask with the microphone, Cassandra, if you want to log in. If you want to unmute yourselves now, you can. I don't mind. But...
Oh, okay, cool. I wasn't sure. When you're making a kind of a new Facebook page for your kind of small business, what is the best way? Should you just promote put a chat if you have a lot of friends, even if you haven't been very active on your own Facebook page, should you just post something saying, hey, I've been doing this for the past couple of weeks and these people really liked it, just wanted to see if you'd be into it, or do you post it in groups, or is that too I don't know, I feel if you frame it in a way where you're helping people, that it doesn't seem salesy, but I feel just making a page up, again, probably everyone else here is much more into the entrepreneur world than I am, because I'm kind of still in school. But I was just curious, how to, if you just start the page, how do you get people to see it, I guess, so that they know that your product's there? Or if that's also too much of a detailed question, feel free not to answer as well.
I think I've got you. Is it that you're basically asking how to get your business page active, essentially?
Yeah.
So I will cross post with a lot of things. So for example, if you're going to go live on your business page, you can then go on your phone and share the live to your personal page, something like that. If you're also showing up to do free things, I would actually look more at creating your own group for that rather than the page itself, because the page is going to be public, right? Mm-hmm. So if you can create a container, a group where you can add people to it, then what you do is you already have a captive audience. It's not like everybody. And you can then, as you show up in lives, invite people to your to your Facebook group. Be like, if you like this, I'm providing more details like to my private group. You can join it here, that kind of thing. And then you can also do that in groups. So when you're posting, say like you don't have a program that's going on right now, you can invite people to go into your group if you give advice, something like that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a wonderful perspective. If it's not a program that you're selling though, if it's like kind of more smaller things like a quick, kind of like a smaller phone call, or like some like specific item you're sending to them, like that it's not, there isn't a program involved. It's just like
a service, like a one-off thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you asking like how to promote that?
No, I mean like how, like if I'm putting up the business page with the offerings that I'm doing, and then I guess I could see if I could just find some people to put like reviews on it or something.
Yeah, social proof is big. You can also do that. Like you can put on your business page. I share things on my business page and my personal page. I post them separately because you never know who in your warm market like might actually be interested in your services. I say don't judge your potential clients. You don't know where they're coming from or what they're going to want. Post on your personal page, post on the business page. There's nothing wrong with giving people multiple ways to find you.
Okay, yeah, because the business page is not there yet. I'm making it, and then I was going to share it like on my personal page and use that as a way for people to check out the services. But
yeah, and you can start posting stuff on your personal page in the meantime, and you can kind of create it like a launch where you're like, I'm offering these things coming soon on my business page, yada yada, that kind of thing.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And no problem. I'm gonna get back to Mayu Vlander about her question. Am I offering this, like, am I going to be several program starts, like another program starting later? I don't know if I'm gonna offer this program again this year because I'm planning something that's going to be longer and deeper in this topic area. So I can't answer that right now. I know that I'll be offering this one. But after this, I'm planning a group that's going to be closer to 6 months and at a much higher end. So I can't promise anything for 2020, like maybe in 2021. But this is going to be like my most affordable offer this year. Does that answer the question? Okay. I know other people have questions here, so don't be shy. You don't have to unmute yourself if you don't want to. You can put them in the chat. It's okay. You can message them to me privately. It's okay.
I would like to ask how to promote smaller services, because I actually started tarot readings, and I've done like, I think 2 times I tried to promote my services on 2 groups, but it didn't work out that well. I don't know if it's like my wordings are not great, or I don't know, because I see a lot of other people doing it and they are more successful. So I was like kind of wondering.
Okay. I got a few options for you, especially like with tarot reading kind of stuff. First of all, you can go live on your own page and like do live card pulls for people. That's one way, because people want to see what kind of services they offer. You also, like, if you don't want to go live, but I do encourage you to go live because it's the best way to get people to book with you. And then you can say during the live, like, engage with people, and you can say, like, here's your message. I think there's more here. I'd love to talk to you more about it. If you'd like to book a reading with me, here's my link. It's in the caption already, and I'll be posting in the comments after. Like, invite people as you're doing the live card pulls to book readings with you. The other thing you can do is, especially if you have a specialty area or you want to base it around like a theme, like a holiday or something. So say like Valentine's Day, you can be like, I'll pull a love message for you. Like, you can post written in a group and say like, free love messages, like intuitive love messages, like drop an emoji if you want a message, or ask me your question and I'll give you some intuitive guidance. You don't tell them that you're pulling the cards, you just post that. And then what you do is you just shuffle your deck, and as the comments roll in, pull a card for that person and then just give them a message based off the card. And while you're doing that, you encourage people in the original post and in the comments, like, if you'd like to book a full reading with me, here's my link. And you can also follow up with those people individually, like, hey, so-and-so, like, not sure if you're interested, but, I think there's a deeper message here for you. I'd love to, like, if you'd like to book a reading with me, here's my link.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Cassandra says Jessie does great live readings. So fun. Thank you.
Absolutely. Jessie's amazing in giving her live readings. This is Temi. Hi, Jessie.
Hi, Temi.
This is wonderful. And I'm going to DM you later about doing something separate, but wonderful, wonderful presentation.
Thank
and,
you.
Can I take a moment for Mylander? Because you know how I am, Jessie.
Yeah, go ahead. Give her some advice.
Cindy, you have to own it, hon. You are the
own it.
tarot
Yes.
leader. This is what I can do for you. See that smile you have on right now? You have this beautiful smile on your face right now, and that is so much more engaging for when you spoke earlier and you asked the question to Jessie. People want to believe that they can trust in you, and hopefully they can. I'm not one, and neither is Jessie, for fake tactics, but when you come into this arena, there are thousands and thousands of influencers, coaches, and other people out there. What sets you apart is your uniqueness, and you have to show that. That's what people is going to bring people to you. And that's my 2 cents, and I'm going to shut up now. Thank you.
I'm going to build on that too and say there are 2 ways to view anything. Like, there's nothing new under the sun. There are bajillion coaches out there. There are bajillion tarot readers. There's bajillion skincare products. You can either look at that and say, the market is so saturated. Oh no, I shouldn't do it. Or you can look at it and say, look at all the opportunity there. Look at the demands that's there. And people people will come to you because they like you and your personality, or they like the style of your readings. So that's what it's all about. You got it. You can do it. No problem. Like, I know you're a good tarot reader.
Thank you.
Jessie, I have a question about your call to action. Do you put a call to action on all of your posts or only when you're launching?
All of my posts, all the time. All the time, yes. You never know, like, when people, you want to, like, give people a reason to contact you. You never know when it's going to be, like, you're going to say the right thing at the right time for somebody. So just always have links and a call to action on anything. And it doesn't need to be the same thing every time. It doesn't always need to be book a call, book a call, book a call. It can also be things like, tag a friend. It can be like, how do you define success? The example I used before. Or it can be like, what are some of your favorite accounts? Like, you want to just foster more engagement there. So like switch it up. And the same thing goes for lives too. It's like, you don't always want to go live and promote stuff. It's like, one day you promote stuff. One day you do tarot card pulls. One day you do like some ask me anything. One day you do like pick a topic and like, go live on it, that kind of thing. Just keep change it up. And something you can do, because a lot of people are like, oh my God, that's so much content. How am I going to come up with it? Keep a notebook or a note on your phone, or like send yourself voice memos where when ideas come to you, you just write it down really quickly. And you're just like, okay, I have it here. So that way on the days where you're like not feeling super inspired, you have a bank of things to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Anybody else have any questions? I want to make sure everybody gets their questions answered today. No, good. Everybody good? Give me a thumbs up if everybody's good, feeling good. All right, awesome. Okay, well, guys, I'm going to call it. I'll let you all break. Just hit me up. And if you're not ready to commit, or you have, the sound went away again. Hold up. Am I back? Yeah, okay. If you have questions or you want to think about it, like, go ahead, email me, book a call. My email is coach.jessie.desilva@gmail.com. All right. Everyone have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.